We're here. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. How is it? Yeah? Yeah, we're here. Some people are wooing, some people's arms are crossed, some people are just a hearty thumbs up. I appreciate that. That's the perfect, yeah, I am here. Things are good. It's like you were I felt like a waiter. Like, you know, no? Thumbs up? All right, you're good. I'll come check on you later. It's very nice to be here. Thank you so much for coming out. Mother's Day, right? This day started at 10 a.m. It's just been brunch and I love yous, and then you're like, how much longer do I have to hang out with Mom? That's how it is with my mom. That's how I love my mother. But after about 2 hours, I'm like, yeah? And I know she feels the same way, all right? She loves me, but, like, she's like, you're boring, you know? Like, my mom has her limit with me, too. My mom gets so, she can't help, I don't know if it's a Hungarian thing, but she has to, every time we hang out, she has to remind me that one day she will die. What is that? Is that a Hungarian thing? Are all mothers doing this? Is everyone else's mother just periodically going, one day I will die? And she brings up her death all the time. And she's fine. She's in good health. Nothing's wrong. She just wants, I just don't want you to be surprised when one day I am die. That's a direct quote. I am die. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. It's too weird now, you know? Like, she brings it up so much. My wife and I have a running joke on, here we go. It's been 10 minutes. She's already bringing up mortality. You know, but yeah, I texted her today, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't send the flowers. I forgot. I've been in Chicago. It's a fun city. There's a mom right there that just went, who cares? I love that. You're a mom, I'm guessing, and you just went, I don't care about the flowers. And that whole table was like, oh my God, we've been spending so much money on flowers. And she just went, hey. I forgot to do it, and then I tried to do it last night. I had 3 shows last night, so by the time I was at the hotel, it was already the next day. You know, it's like 1 a.m, and I was like, I looked online, every place was like 1-day delivery. You have to do it, and I'm like, but it's still, but... I'm trying to do like time zone math, you know, and I'm like, but... And then the only other option was to Uber Eats her flowers. And I'm like, is that more disrespectful than just not getting her flowers? Than an Uber Eats driver going, just dropping it off at the doorstep, taking a photo of it, and then leaving. So I'm like, I'll catch her when I get back. That's what I'll do. But yeah, I always love hanging out with my mom. I was thinking about her, you know, because I don't know, I've been thinking about my childhood. It's been a religious week. We just got a new pope, you know? Congratulations, by the way. Chicago Pope. That's pretty awesome, you know? No one saw that coming. That was no one knew. I don't know if there's like, you know how for the NFL draft there's like a draft board where like we're thinking Chicago's getting a quarterback, you know, like I don't think anyone knew that the Pope was going to be from Chicago. And I grew up Catholic. We kind of fell off along the way, but Catholicism has always been my favorite because I grew up I grew up a wrestling fan, so I enjoy the pageantry. All right, I like showmanship. And the Catholics throw down on showmanship. A lot of candles, a lot of garbs. I'm into all of it. The cathedrals are beautiful. I'm into all. I like how they picked the Pope. They got smoke. They had smoke. I didn't know that's how they did it. Just like black smoke. We still don't have a Pope. There's like people outside the Vatican just biting their nails. Like, I don't. And then the white smoke came. They're like, it looked like a playoff hockey crowd outside of the arena. We got a. I wish we would do more things that way. Like that's how we should find out if our favorite show's getting another season. Is Netflix should have a pipe out front, and then if the smoke's red, it's like, we're getting more Black Mirror, everybody. Hell yeah. I think that would be fun. But yeah, I was born in Hungary, so we were Catholic. I forget if it's Orthodox or Roman, one of them. And Because we fell off. But then we moved to Pittsburgh, and then we joined like a Hungarian church out there. And then around the time I was like 6 or 7, my mom's like, "Do you like it? Do you like church?" And I was like, "Not really." And she's like, "Oh, we don't have to do this anymore." And I was like, "Oh, you could have asked sooner." Like we've been going for a while, you know? And then so we stopped going. We stopped going to church. And, you know, since I've become an adult, I've talked to my other friends who grew up religious, and they're like, "That was an option? That's insane." And I asked my mom, I was like, "Why'd you do that?" Most parents are like, "You have to go." And, you know, and she was like, "Oh, I just thought, I mean, I like going, but I just thought you would enjoy it for the socializing with the other kids, but you didn't. So we just stopped going." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So that's always been my connection to faith and religion. It's just like it's been adjacent, you know? Like, my mom and I would always go to a church after we landed from a flight. That was our thing. Like when we flew from Hungary to Pittsburgh, we went to a church. Thank God the plane, everything was cool. And then when we flew from Pittsburgh to San Diego, we went to a church to do the same thing. But the church right by our new place in San Diego was a Korean church. Like we were walking up, I was like in 2nd or 3rd grade, and they had the Asian symbols out front. And I'm like, I don't think this is for us, Mom. And I remember my mom was like, "Oh, it all goes to the same guy." And she, like, that broke down religion so well for me. She's like, no, it's the same. They're all just post offices. It all goes to the same. Everyone's welcome. And we were the only non-Koreans in there. And I'll say it was noticeable. I'll say that, you know. But yeah, that's where, I don't know, I'm a people pleaser. I think my mom trained me to be a people pleaser. And it's something I'm trying to shake off now as an adult. I just can't help it. That's how I was raised. Like when I would spend the night at a friend's house, my mom would be like, "Whatever they feed you, you eat. And you say you love. And you say thank you. If you embarrass me, I will find out. And then the government will know. And then they will know I leave you home alone because I have 2 jobs and the government will take you from me." And I was like, oh my God, I really... So I ate everything, all right? When I would spend the night at a friend's house, I had to eat and drink everything. And this is the 90s. In the 90s, every meal was served with a giant glass of milk. If you weren't around that time, I'll let you know. Every meal came with and I hate milk. I never liked it. I like it with other stuff, cereal, maybe a little in my milk, in my coffee or whatever, but alone, ugh, that's the worst. But it was strict orders. You have to eat and drink everything. So I got my meal in a giant glass of milk, and I'm like, oh, damn it. And I remember I was like, I'll just get it over with, you know? So I just went, I treated it like a Fear Factor challenge. I'm like, just suck it down. It's just pouring down. I'm like, this is terrible. This is the biggest glass I've ever had. And then I remember I finished it. My friend's mom's like, wow, he really likes milk. Here you go, buddy. And I was like, no, dear God, no. That's when I learned if you're a people pleaser, you can't drink it all. You gotta leave enough to where they can't top you off, you know? And you go, I can't, that's enough milk for me. But I'm still a people pleaser to this day. I agree to stuff that I feel like I could politely say no, but for some reason I can't. I just go, yeah, you know? Like the last time it happened, I was performing at a comedy club. I forget where I was, but it was a Funny Bone. Funny Bone is a chain of comedy clubs. And there was a local comic there opening for me. I'd never met him before. And I was hanging out with him in the green room, and it was just me and him. It was going to be a 2-person show. And before the show starts, he's like, hey, man, do you want to pray before the show starts? And I wanted to go, no, thank you. I'd rather not, but that's very kind of you to ask. No, thank you. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't look this person that I just met in the eyes and say no because he was so nice. And that's what a nice gesture to go, hey, I'd like to pray. Would you like to join me? What a moment of vulnerability on his part. I couldn't shoot him down, so I just looked at him and go, I'd love to. I would love to pray. I'm glad you brought it up because I was gonna. So me and this dude that just met, we're just in this small comedy club green room holding hands. And our heads are bowed. His eyes are closed. Mine are wide open. I'm just like, what have you done? This is your fault. You could have politely said no. You don't have to keep agreeing to this. And I remember while we were praying, a server walked in and saw what was going on, and I looked up and she just backed out. And I was like, man. And he had a nice prayer, you know. He was like, hey, you know, Lord, like, you know, look over us and make sure, you know, if you could make sure we have a good show tonight for the people. And I was like, I don't know if you can pray for that. And I don't know the rules, but that seems petty. You can't pray for a good show. There's so much going on in the world. You're wasting that guy's time with this. What if like someone's getting washed away by like a flash flood or something? He's like, oh, dear Jesus, help me. And then he's busy dealing with our nonsense. Can't help that guy, you know? But all in all, he had a nice prayer and he finished it, amen. And then I said, thank you for that, because I don't know what you're supposed to say at the end of a prayer. So I just said, thank you for that. That was good. Because the only other times I prayed is when I was a kid at my friends' houses for dinner, and then amen, I'd be like, all right, bring on that milk. But there was no glass of milk to force chug, so I just said thank you for that. And then we went out, we had our shows, and we both had really rough sets. We did not have good sets. I don't know, I watched him have a bad set, and I was like, oh boy. And then I went on, and 30 minutes into my hour, I was like, well, I guess God doesn't come to the funny bone. I think he was rescuing someone from a river. He was busy. So, yeah, that's been my relationship with that, but I like it. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I've had a really fun week. I love coming to Chicago. I've been coming here for 10 years. I really enjoy it. I love it. I like your city. It's beautiful. I walked to your lake, the lake walk there, I don't think that's what it's called, but that's what I did. They had a walkway there, and I walked by the lake. Some people rode bikes. Some people ran. I walked. That's what I did. It was beautiful. It was a nicer day today than yesterday. Yesterday I went out, and it looked nice, but it was deceiving. And then I went out, and I'm like, this isn't nice. This is terrible. The sun's out, but it was just freezing cold. And I looked out my hotel window, and I saw people in shorts and T-shirts. I'm like, hell yeah. So I put on a short and a T-shirt, and I went outside, and it was just... And I'm like, oh, dear. My nipples tore through the shirt. Like, it was... I was like, these liars, what are you doing out here? I had to run back inside, put on a winter coat. It was fun. It was fun walking around yesterday watching people trick themselves into thinking it was a nice enough day for their activities. I walked down the street, it was all just women in dresses just freezing, waiting in line to get into like a brunch. They're like, oh, and the maitre d's like, inside or outside? Oh, patio, please. That's where we want to sit. This is great. Just a tornado of croissant dust, you know? It was way too windy for any of that. Yeah. I love it. I'm staying down the street over at the Hotel Lincoln. Staying over there. It's a very nice hotel. The bar's nice. The lobby's nice. The rooms, you could stay away from those. I don't know what's going on with the rooms. I can't tell if they mean it or... You know those hotels where you're like, is this part of the design? Or is that blood? Like, what is that? It's one of those hotels where you're like, is this being kitschy or is this a cigarette burn in the lampshade? I don't know. It's a weird, I don't know. They gave me a suite. I knew the hotel room was going to be bad when they immediately upgraded me to a suite at check-in because I have no affiliation with, that's a Hyatt hotel. I'm a Marriott guy. I have no status with Hyatt. And they immediately were like, oh, we're giving you the suite. And I was already like, oh, that's their way of letting me know, hey, we're giving you the best room, so if you don't like it, don't complain. All right? That's their way. I've checked into a lot of hotels. I know the little tricks. Like, oh, we're giving you the best room in the complex. And you're like, why? You know? It's because you don't want me. One time I had a guy give me a cookie. He gave me and it wasn't a DoubleTree where it's like part of the brand. It wasn't one of those. This is just some cookies he made at home. And he's like, I upgraded you and you want a cookie? I brought a cookie. And I was like, man, you really don't want anyone to complain. So I took my cookie up to that roach infested room. But no, this room, no roaches. It's fine. It's just like everything's wrong, you know? I have 2 showers, but they're both wrong. Like both shower curtains are too small in different ways. Like in one, there's a tub, but it's not wide enough, so you can't put the shower curtain against the wall, so it's just soaking through the wall, and the floor is soaking wet. Then I ruined that one, so I went to the other one. And that one, the shower curtain's too short. It's 3 inches too short, so it hangs right there, right at my ankles. And guess what water does? It bounces pretty good. And it just bounces right out there. And then so it's just soaking wet, so I have to just throw towels down. And then that doesn't dry, so the next day there's just cold towels while I'm sitting on the can. And I'm like, this is horrible. And you're like, why don't you let the maid in? They can clean it up. I never let the maid in, all right? I don't let the maid in until I leave. That's who I am. I don't want them knowing what the hell I've been doing in here, all right? You can leave when I'm on a flight out of the state. That's when you can come in. By the time you report what I've done in here, I'm already statute of limitations. They're not coming across state lines to chase me down for what I've done to that room. And the toilets are industrial. That's the real weird one. I have 2 industrial, like the toilets you see at like a football stadium. Just a big oval, no tank, just a pipe into the wall. And they got one of those flushers, the kickers. And I'm like, what happened in this hotel when the manager's like, give us the best you got? Because these tourists are out there getting deep dish and our plumbing can't handle it. Just get us the most industrial can you got. Give us 2 of them. Give us 2 of them. What about shower curtains? You good on those? Yeah, we got the worst ones in the business. Don't worry about those. This is terrible. It also might be haunted. I don't know. I used to be scared of ghosts, and now I'm just annoyed by them. I've kind of figured it out. Like, I've learned too much about ghosts, and I just realized they're just spirits of us hanging around. And these are the people that bother people that they don't know. It's like the same people you run into on the street. You're like, hey, and you're like, ugh. You know? That's who these spirits are. Hey, what? They're just flickering a light. What are you watching, some TV? Yeah, I'm watching some TV. Why don't you keep it down? You know? But yeah, fun week. Rob, my buddy, he took me to a Russian sweat lodge this week. We went there on Saturday or Friday. We went to a Russian sweat lodge. If you've never been, he was like, yeah, have you ever been? And I was like, I've never been. And he's like, dude, it's great. We drove like 30 minutes out of this neighborhood. I don't know where we were. We went to an nondescript building with no windows. And we go in. There's just a little Russian guy behind the counter. He's like, he's a little guy. I don't know. He was a little squirrely. He was just a little... and I was like, what's going on here? And he gave us some towels and some flip-flops. And then we had to go to the locker room and change, And I'm still, even at 37, I've turned 38 this month, but I'm still weird about being naked. And I'm not a naked guy. That's never who I've been. So I had to go change in the locker room. And I remember my locker, there was like a guy near it. So like I just had to go over there and I just gave him I'm going to get naked now. Like, just so he knows this isn't an ambush or anything. I'm just it's about to happen. It's so hard to start, isn't it? It's so hard to start to get naked in public. Like, I know how to undress at home in my own privacy. I don't even think about it. I just undress. And then when I'm there and there's other people, I'm like, how do you do this? Like, I forget how to start. And I'm like, I guess I'll take my sweater off. And then my shirt came with my sweater. I'm like, oh, no, not yet. Not yet. I wasn't ready for that. And then my shirt. Oh, but now I don't have a shirt, and I got to bend down. I don't want people to see that. So then I put it back on. And let me do my shoes. And it was such a thing, And I went with Sorab. Sorab's my friend, but we're not naked friends. That's a special level of friendship, to be naked. So we went to the locker room and we just had a polite understanding where we just faced the other way. And we're like, I'll talk to you later. And it was weird. It was like a naked duel that we were doing. We were just back to back. We did 10 paces. And I'm like, yeah, I gotcha, buddy. And then we went over there. We went into the sauna. Everyone wore a towel, which was cool. They gave you little snap towels. So everyone's in a towel, except for one old guy, which that's the tale as old as time. You always hear about the one old guy that's like, you're going to look at it. I don't know what it is. There's one old guy in the sauna that's like, my wife won't look at it. Someone's looking at it. Someone's going to get a look at this. And the sauna was tiered. Like, there was levels, and he picked balcony. So he's up How you fellas doing? Like, not good. I'll say that. And so we did the sauna, then we did the cold plunge, then we did the sauna, did the cold plunge. So we just went hot. It was like we were training for climate change. I don't know what it was, but it was relaxing and painful all at the same time. And then after we did that like a few times, so Rob was like, hey, you want some soup? And I was like, what? And he's like, do you want some soup? And I was like, now? And he's like, yeah, they serve soup here. And I was like, why? Why would they serve soup here? And can we get it anywhere else? I'd like to go anywhere else to get soup instead of here. And he's like, no, you're going to love it. I'm going to tell him to get us some soup. So he goes to the squirrely guy and he goes, hey, 2 soups. And the guy goes, right away. And he runs into the kitchen. And I'm like, it's not even a different guy? That's the guy that was handing out the flip-flops and the towels. Now he's in the kitchen lighting up the burners to heat up the soup. And I was like, it was so weird to eat soup in like there's a guy in a hot tub right there. He's in water. I'm looking at soup and I'm like, it's different water, right? Like where did this water come from? It was weird. I had chicken soup and I'm looking at the chicken and there's like a naked guy in a tub right there. And he's like, how's the soup? And I'm like, don't talk, dude. Like, eerily similar. It was like if you did it fast enough, you're like, man, that's a weird thing, dude. I've had meals in weird places. That reminded me. It reminded me years ago. I remember I had lunch at a strip club, not knowing. I landed in Portland. This is a thing in Portland. They have a strip club known for their steaks. I didn't know that. I landed, and my buddy Corey was like, hey, man, you're in town. You want to go get lunch? I'm like, I'd love to. They're like, oh, dude, they have good steaks at the strip club. You down for that? And I was like, sure. And the reason there was a miscommunication is in San Diego, there's a steakhouse called The Strip Club. And so I was like, oh, apparently it's a chain, and they have one in Portland. I was like, hell yeah, man. So then he picks me up and he takes me there. We get there, we're in the parking lot of a strip club. And I was like, oh. And we go inside and it's still just a strip club at 1 PM. So there's nobody in there. Me and him just walk in. There's like one girl and she wasn't dancing until she saw us. She's like, oh, well, what's up, fellas? Hey, it's a party in here just in time. You know, she had to put her phone down and start dancing. So we sit down, we're like right in front, right by the stage. We put our orders in, and you know she's over there dancing, and then I'm like, yeah, and then the food came, and I thought like when the food would come that she would like, you know what I mean? Get the hell out of here! There's food over here, and she didn't. She was still like over there, and I'm like, hey. Like when you go to Costco, the guy at the deli counter with a beard, they make him put a hairnet on. This lady's butt naked. And I'm like, get away from the steaks. What are you doing? Does the health department know about this? You can't be this close. Hey! This is what happens when you're a people pleaser, all right? You end up, you never speak up for yourself, and you're like, this is fine, I guess. I need to work on that, man. I need to work on that. We'll work on so much. I don't know. I keep learning things about myself, and the more I learn, the more upset I am. You ever learn something about yourself? You're like, could have gone without that. Didn't need to know that. Could have lived the rest of my life and been fine, you know? Like, I read the comments on social media. That's a thing you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to read the comment section, but I can't help it. My face is there. I'm going to read what people are saying. And I get this comment a lot under my videos. They're like, that guy's on cocaine. And I'm not. And I want to write, I'm not. And then I'm like, wait, let them think I'm cool. You know, if they think I'm that cool, let them think I'm cool. What am I coming in to tell them that? And then the reason they think that, because I keep reading, they're like, his jaw is locked up. He talks from the back of his mouth. And I was like, what? And so now I'm watching my own videos. Watching my own mouth going, oh my God, is that weird? Do I talk weird? Is that weird? And it's so bizarre. That's why you shouldn't read the comments, because now I'm looking at my own mouth going, Is that how I talk? And then recently, I had my dentist appointment. I went to my dentist, and this isn't a new dentist. I've been going to this dentist for a while now. And after my cleaning, they come in and do a quick exam before they let you bounce. And he comes in, and this time when he's doing the exam, he goes, huh, do me a favor, put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And I did. And he's like, now open your mouth. And I was like, And he's like, huh. And I was like, what is it? And he's like the string, the little tendon that connects your tongue to your mouth. Yours is really short. And I was like, okay. And he's like, do you have like trouble licking ice cream and stuff? Like, is that? And I was like, I don't think so. Like, what is this right now? And he's like, all right, yeah, I was just wondering. I'm like, is there any cure for this? He's like, I don't think so. And I was like, why are you bringing this up? And then so I left, and I was like, oh, is that why maybe I talk different? And then people are leaving the comment. And I remember my wife was out in the lobby waiting for me, and she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I just got the weirdest information. The doctor just said I have a short tongue. Have you noticed I have a short tongue? She's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, what? How long have you known? How long have you known? She's like, since we've met. I've noticed. And I was like, when did you notice? She's like, you eat ice cream weird. And I was like, what? I eat ice cream weird? She's like, yeah, like you can't, it looks like you have trouble licking it. And so you just take these weird little bites, just like I'm like, what? Yeah, she's like, yeah, like a little like snapping turtle or something. And I was like, I could have gone without knowing any of that. So I'm not on cocaine. I just have a short tongue, which means I have to talk out of the back of my It's so embarrassing. Could have gone without knowing any of that about myself. But, here we are. It's good. It's a good distraction from the news. I like that. I don't know, sometimes the news is fun. We're renaming water. I like that. That's my favorite part of the Trump presidency. It's like, we're renaming water. And I was like, why not? Rename that water. Yeah, no more Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. He just did it to the Persian Gulf is now the Saudi Arabian Gulf. And everyone's fighting about it, like, hey, what the hell? I can't. And it's weird. It's weird to rename water. It's weird to name water. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's water. It's like naming a stray cat in the alley and then being mad when you find out someone down the street calls that cat something else, His name is Mittens. They're like, that's not what I call him. Yeah, well, we're calling him Mittens. We own Google Maps. We're calling him Mittens on Google Maps. It's fun. But no, I love Chicago. I love it. It's a city, but it's friendly. But it's got all the city parts to it. I walked down. I loved it. There's a homeless guy staring into a coffee shop. I didn't know. I just walked by and I'm like, what's he doing? You ever walk by and you're like, what's that guy doing? And he had an apron, but I couldn't. But I could tell he didn't work there because of everything else. But he somehow commandeered an apron. He found an apron somewhere, tied it perfectly, and so I couldn't tell if he was on a lunch break, just looking into the coffee shop, like at the clock, like I got 5 more minutes of this lunch break. I couldn't tell what he was doing, but he was just looking into the windows right here. And then I walked, as I passed, the angle changed so I could see into the window. There was this poor bastard sitting on the other side at like the counter. He has a latte and his laptop's up, and he's just trying to do some spreadsheets. And there's a homeless guy with an apron just right there. And I'm like, man, that's the city test right there. If you can finish that work email, you're allowed to stay, That's a cold-hearted city folk right there, just sipping a latte, eating a muffin, and then Bill said, that's tough, man. It's a tough spot to be in. But yeah, I always love Chicago. I think it gets a bad rep because people don't know. They always say it's dangerous. I don't know. Maybe it is. Not where I go, I guess. Nothing's ever happened. One time I got lost on the subway. That was the only scary thing for my first time ever in Chicago. And all week I'd been doing the subway great, hadn't been getting lost. And the last one, I got arrogant. And I was just on the red line, and I was having a good time. And then I missed it. You know, in the city, it does a little woo-woo-woo. And then I didn't feel the turns, and it shot us down, and I was half drunk. And I was just, having fun in Chicago. And I slowly started to notice, just little hints. Like people started playing music in there. And there are signs that says, don't do that. They drew them. They're little cartoon signs that say, hey, don't blast music out of a boombox. And I'm like, well, I guess they didn't say you couldn't do it out of a Bluetooth speaker. So maybe that was the misconnection there. So there's music. By the way, this is me dancing to the music. In case you're wondering, does he need to pee? That poor man, he needs to urine. So I'm on the subway, and then that was my first hint. I'm like, oh, they're playing music, okay. And then slowly, like, the stops it started becoming like lesser known presidents, And that was my next hint. Where I remember one of the stops, I was like, Garfield, like that's when is Garfield ever? Because my first thought was the cat, and I'm like, no, that's a president that no one remembers. And then I knew I was in trouble when it was I got to White Sox Stadium, and because that's all I do know about Chicago is you guys have two baseball teams, and the Cubs and the White Sox, and the White Sox Stadium is in the south side of Chicago, which is not the good part to be in, for safety reasons or whatever. And then I saw that and I went, oh no, and. So I'm like, I'm going to get off at the next stop and then turn around and take the train back. And I got off at the next stop. Yeah. I got off at the next stop, and the next stop was in the middle of, like, the freeway. It wasn't even one of the underground ones. You were up, and then I got off, and I'm like, you can't even run. You can't. There's just people zipping by on both sides of the freeway going, look at that guy. What an idiot. Look at that. And I was just under one of the lamps going, dear God. And I was in my head, now the buzz is wearing off. Now I'm sobering up quick. And I'm like, all right, just stay tough. It was the winter. It was the winter time. And so I was all bundled up. I had a beanie, I had my jacket. And I'm like, I might have to get into a fight, So I immediately, I was like, I got to take my mittens off. So I took my mittens off. Because I'm like, no one in the history of fights has ever won a fight with mittens on before, And not gloves, just mittens. And I'm like, I should take these mittens off. So I remember taking these mittens off, and then I clipped them to my sleeves, and I'm like, I'm ready for action in case anyone decides to get out of hand. And nothing happened, but that was a fun experience. That's my favorite part of traveling. I like the sense of danger, but I don't want anything to ever happen. I just like traveling, go to a different city, and be like, oh, is this it? And then nothing happens, and you're like, oh, I'm going to tell that story. I used to I was like, look at all these towels. What am I supposed to do with all of them? I was in Seattle recently, and I didn't have a hotel booked. I waited till the last minute. I got a hot wire thing, like, you can get a good deal last minute. I got a room for $40, and I found that is too cheap. Everything should be more than $40. Every room anywhere. Your own mother should charge you more than $40 to crash on the couch for a night. It was such a bad situation. I went in, and this is how I was welcomed to the hotel. The lady behind the counter was yelling at somebody to get out. She was like, no, you paid with cash. I don't have a card on file. Either you bring us more cash or get out. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. So I'm just standing there with my credit card and driver's license waiting for my turn, and as I'm waiting, a lady walks in. She brought 2 kids, and she's like, can I get a job application? I'd like to clean the rooms. And I'm like, what? So now I got a tear coming down. And to add a trifecta to this situation, there was an elderly man in a wheelchair. He was missing a leg, and he's just aimlessly doing donuts in the lobby. Just not really going anywhere, just kind of doing donuts. And I'm standing there looking at all this, and I'm like, no way. There's no way. She's over there yelling, get out! She's over here, can I get an application? This poor old man, sans leg, just doing donuts. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way this hotel has Wi-Fi. There's no way. Yeah! What's up, everybody? Yeah? Yeah! Look at us, we're out. What's up? Oh, you uncrossed your arms and clapped for a second. Yeah. That's good. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a little, I don't mean it. So good to be here. I love it. This is a beautiful club, and then for some reason they added that onto the stage. I love it. I don't know what it is. I think it's the thing the pizza guy hid from Home Alone. Remember the thing it just and constantly brought back up? Between this and the logo, I love it, because it makes no sense. What is that guy? He's just like desperately trying to hold on to the word hilarities. Put it down, man. Put it down. Me and this thing, just judging my shoes. I love it. So good to be here, man. It's I love this part of downtown. It's pretty much all of Cleveland that I know is this section. My hotel is 500 steps that away. I'm in that arcade thing, which is empty during most of the time, which is terrifying. I don't know if you've ever stayed at that hotel, but you wake up at like 9 a.m. You're like, I'm gonna get a coffee, and it's just you walking through there. I hate this. And then when you want to come do the show, there's just high school, they like ship high school kids in there. When do you guys do prom? Like, when is that? Every time I come, it's like high school kids in ball gowns just taking photos there. And I'm like, prom is later. What is this? Are you marrying off the teens? Is that what you're doing? Get over there, stand on those stairs. Have this man take a photo of you. It's weird. All of it was weird. I came down to do the show. It was just like 1,000 teenagers taking ballroom photos at the arcade. Then I came over, and you could just, like, it was crazy busy in the alley, and you could tell who was going to what show. Like, there's a show going on at House of Blues, so it's just you guys and then a bunch of cold goths. Just waiting to go into the House of Blues. Just frigid goth. It's like, trench coat goes with that outfit, you know? Get a trench coat with that. Man, goths are never prepared. Aren't like it's a cool outfit, but it's built for no situation. It's built for 5 minutes of any evening of just one photo where you're like, and then the rest of the time it is cumbersome. It's either freezing or it's too hot and you're covered in leather. God forbid you have to pee. Have you ever seen a goth at the airport at TSA where you're like, did you think any of this through? They're just unlacing their boots starting at the thigh, and you're like, good God. Get pre-check if that's how you're gonna do it. Coming in with the Kiss boots. But yeah, it's very nice. I like Cleveland. It's very nice. When it's not busy, it's nothing out there. Like, you guys are gonna leave, and then there's a late show, and when that leaves, the town shuts down, and then I just have to make that walk by myself with my camera. Just walk. It's 500 steps, but there's just a couple people out there. And they yell stuff. They yell. You guys have, I'll give it to your homeless people. They will be heard. There's no subtle, like, do you have any change? Hey! Hey! And it's just me and him. I know he's talking to me. How am I supposed to ignore him? You know? I can't. Then I'm turning around. He's already got his phone out, showing me a picture of him in the military from the 40s. And I'm not saying it's not an accurate photo, but I'm doing the math, and I'm like, I think you're supposed to be 100. If you were 20 in the 40s, I think you were 100 years old. How are you doing? I'm like, it's crazy. I got dropped off. I flew in Wednesday night. I landed at midnight, and they dropped me off at the hotel, and there's a homeless lady. There's no one anywhere on the streets except for one homeless lady just in front of my hotel. And I'm like, damn it. And I get out of the car, hey! And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, and she's like, I'm sorry, I'm just out here. I'm at the homeless shelter. I'm like, I get it. Do you want some cash or something? She's like, yeah. So I pulled a 10 out of my bag, and she goes, thank you. And I go, of course. And then she just left. Like, I think I watched her clock out for the night. Like, she needed $10 more, and she's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, what were you doing? How did you know I was coming? Were you slipping the front desk lady $5 to be like, is anyone else checking in for the evening? You're like, yeah, I got a guy coming at 12:30. He's got a migraine, but I'm telling you, he's coming now. I'm looking at his photo online. Looks like a sap. Looks like he'll give up easy. Just hand it over. But yeah, been having a wonderful time. Got to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yesterday, which was awesome. I was planning on going there. It was awesome. I love it. I like it. Some of you clapped. Some of you were like, yeah, it's there. I feel like, I don't know if you guys are with your town the way I am with my town, but in San Diego, there's a bunch of San Diego stuff I've never done. And when people are like, oh, have you been to the and I'm like, yeah, but I'm just lying. And then they tell me more about it, and I think they can tell I've never been, but I'm not giving it up. I'm like, yeah, the seals. You gotta watch out for the seals. They'll take a finger right off, I'll tell you. That's how it felt when I brought up the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where you guys were like, yeah. But I got to go, went with Brad and my other buddy, Jeremiah. I was gonna go anyway, and then there's like an employee that works over there that's apparently a fan of mine, and was like, hey, do you want a VIP tour? And I was like, well, yeah, that's awesome. We just saved money on entrance. We didn't have to pay to get in, and they gave us a VIP badge, but the person that was a fan, wasn't the guy that gave us the tour. So like the guy that gave us the tour, I don't think he could tell which one of us was the guy. You know what I mean? He was just like, yeah, come on in, I'll show you around. And he just kept telling us how many more important famous people he'd given this tour to. And then it put a lot of pressure on me, because I felt like I had to be extra, you know? Like, we went down in the vault, he showed us like jackets, he showed us Elvis's like military jacket from when he was in the military, and we were like, oh, that's awesome, can we take a photo of that? And he's like, absolutely not. Because the flash is gonna make this jacket disintegrate. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's why we lost so many in the war. Those clothes were not built for any kind of... We had bad material back then. They had a flash from the... I'm like, I can turn the flash off. They're like, no, we can't take the chance. And so we're just standing there looking at this jacket. My buddy Jeremiah is like, can I smell it? And I was like, what? And the guy holding the jacket, like he'd been asked this question a million times, was like, of course. And he put it up a little bit, and I watched my friend lean in. And I'm like, what are we doing right now? And then later he pulled out Bob Marley's beanie, and he was like, Marshawn Lynch wanted to smell this. And then we were all there, and I'm like, I'll smell it. Yeah, bring it in. Because I didn't want to let him down, you know? He'd given so many tours to so many more important people. Like, he pulled out these notes of like lyrics written by artists for famous songs, and he pulled one out. He goes, you guys are gonna love this. I showed this to the lead singer of Weezer, and he looked at it for 20 straight minutes and was just mesmerized. And I'm like, ah, damn it. And he put it on the table, and I didn't recognize the artist or the song. So I'm just trying really hard, like, wow, dude. Na 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 na. He wrote down all the na 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 nas, didn't he? Wow. Oh my God. Are we done? Oh. I am so glad I brought friends. I am so glad that wasn't a one-on-one tour, because they really filled in a lot of the gaps, you know? I don't have a lot of questions. Like, if it was me and that guy one-on-one, I would just be a lot of silence and me just awkwardly going, so those are his pants, huh? And him just going, huh? Those are his pants. It was fun. But it's cool. We walked all around. My buddy Jeremiah's got a big mouth on him. Like, we saw Billy Idol had his motorcycle up there, and he goes, man, Billy Idol's so overrated. And there was a guy looking at the motorcycle. He was like, what the hell? And I was like, What if that was Billy Idol? Like, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is one of the rare museums where if you say something insulting about one of the artists, there's a chance that they could be right behind you. Like, that's not gonna happen at the Louvre in Paris, you know? You're not gonna be over there like, yeah, but Rembrandt was a blowhard. And then you turn around and he's just over there with like... I don't even know what he would say, but you know, probably something douchey. I think Rembrandt. What if I find out you guys are just huge Rembrandt fans? And he was from Cleveland, did you know? I'm like, I didn't know. I like Rembrandt. He did a lot of good stuff. But we had fun. We had a really good time. I love it. It's been coming to Cleveland many times, and it just gets better every time. I was thinking about going to the baseball game yesterday, but I didn't because it was cold. And so I went to a bar, and we watched the game on TV, and I was like, oh, no one else went either. So that worked out. That was nothing out there. I wonder, that must be so nostalgic for those players. They're like, oh, this feels like Little League all over again. Nothing but a couple of our parents up there going, you're doing great, you know? And I do love baseball. I'm a new lover of baseball. I think baseball's awesome. I think, I like the energy of baseball. I think America was better when baseball was the #1 sport. I think it was more chill. I think because baseball's chill. There's like 1,000 games, none of it matters, you know? Like your team could start 0-20 and still get a chance, you know? We're like, we're still in it. We just gotta get a couple games together, you know? But that's not the American sport anymore. It's football, and there's not enough games. All the games matter. Every game, they're like, we gotta fire the coach. We gotta fire that guy. I'm gonna go burn his house down right now. We gotta get that court. That's what America's like football now. Like, we don't have any time. They're gonna win. But baseball's like, no, that manager's all right. He's figuring it out. We got a couple guys coming in from AAA. We're gonna figure it out. Baseball's so chill. You can go to the game, you zone out for like 4 innings. You wake up, you're holding a hot dog and 2 beers. Everyone starts singing. Oh, we're singing now. We're singing. Baseball's the best, dude. Baseball is the sport we should be all going after, man. It is. It's the sport. I think we could learn a lot from baseball. It's fine. Easy. Football, they keep trying to fix, and they're like, they keep dying. How do we get them to stop dying? And I'm like, it's the game. Do you watch the game? And they're like, what if they're not as far apart on kickoffs? And there's less room for them to run at them at full blast speed. And they're like, they're still dying. Just later. What if we give them bigger helmets with like bubble wrap on the top? Maybe they're just gonna die later. It's the game. It's the game. It's like you can't make it not dangerous. I wonder if that was like the conversation 100 years ago or 200 years ago when like America's sport was just dueling. And they're like, man, a lot of people are getting shot. What if we make them take 10 steps first? And then they gotta shoot as soon as they turn around. They'd probably miss, right? They'd probably miss. And then the sport got boring and no one duels anymore. That's what's happening with football. It's so dumb. I'm glad you guys like that. I got a couple people clapped at that. He's like, you know what? He didn't have me till he brought up that dueling comparison. And I was like, oh my God, can we vote for him? Is he on the ballot? Yeah, I don't know anything. But I do like baseball. I started watching, I remember the first game I watched on TV and got into was the Little League World Series a couple summers ago. And every time I bring that up, it gets quiet just like that. Because every time I bring up, I watched Little League Baseball, and they're like, were you allowed? You know, it's that kind of energy. And it's like, yeah, it was on TV, all right?
I wasn't watching it through a bush. I wasn't like, it's not like I was in the outfield. And the umpires are like, he's here again, get him. It was on ESPN. I was on a Delta flight. It was on the screen. There was nothing else on, so I was watching it. And I remember the game I watched. It was Ecuador against Kaszas. And I remember the game because Ecuador had a chubby pitcher. And I grew up as a chubby kid, so when I saw him, I just connected with him immediately. And I was proud of him. I was like, look at you. You defeated the odds and you're here. You represent your country in the World Series. That's awesome. And he was a pitcher for the team. And he wasn't a good pitcher. I think there was an injury that day. I don't know what happened. I think he was filling in. And he just couldn't get the ball over the plate. And I don't know how much you guys know about baseball, but that's pretty crucial. You got to get the ball somewhere over the plate. And he got it everywhere but the plate. And just every pitch. And he kept walking. He got so bad in the opening inning, he had the bases loaded on walks. And I'm not going to assume you guys know everything there is to know about baseball, but that means no baseball was happening. And one of the teams was doing really good. Really, really good. And I was, at that point, once he got the bases loaded, I'm like, this is where the coach is going to step in and go, hey, I think it's time to go. But he didn't. That coach was like, he'll figure it out. And he didn't. He didn't figure it out. He started walking runs in. But here's the impressive thing, because I'm not ripping on this kid. This is where it impressed me. He's bombing on national television as a 12-year-old, representing his country while the world is watching. And he didn't throw a hissy fit. He didn't start crying. He didn't run off the field like I would have. He kept his cool, and he was just like, how about this one? Each pitch worse than the last. And it wouldn't calm him. It was just one sweat beat. That's all the stress he showed me. He's like, how about this one? Even worse. And I was sitting there watching this on a Delta flight, and I'm like, am I watching this 12-year-old boy become a man right now? I think pitching in Little League might be the best training for adulthood any of us could ever have, because that's what adulthood is like. Every day, we're on the mound, and nothing's working. And no one's pulling us out of the game. We're just trapped on the mound. We're stuck. We're up there every day just, I don't have the rent. Bitcoin's down. My wife's gonna leave. And it's just like life. And while you're bombing, all your friends are behind you just watching you bomb. Cheering you on. You got the next one, buddy. And then when you're pitching, you're like, dude, keep that spare bedroom open. You're gonna have a roommate after this game. Baseball is life, man. I think the catchers are our parents. I think that's who the catchers are. They're down there trying to give us a signal what to do. What do? Shake them off. Like, I was raised by an immigrant mom, all right? Hardworking immigrant mother, and she was like, maybe you should go to community college, you know? After high school, 2.75 GPA, maybe go to community college. And I'm like, I'm gonna be a comedian.
Big excitement. Yeah, I know, right? They brought in the poinsettias. Hell yeah! That was on my rider, and I was like, I didn't know they were going to do it. And there's a little Charlie Brown tree right in the front. We haven't even done Thanksgiving yet, man. Calm down. It's tomorrow. And they're like, it's Christmas all the time. What is up, everybody? Thanks so much for coming out. Wednesday night, the eve of Thanksgiving. This is the night. This is the night where we go to the bar. And we see the people we went to high school with. And then some people you're like, oh my God, wow. And some people are like, yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. It's a nice mix. I assume that's what's going on out here. It was nice. We came in yesterday, drove in from San Diego. We just got a Tesla and we drove it from San Diego to here. I don't know if you've ever done the desert drive in an electric vehicle, but you just watch that battery percentage And you're like, what? Is that all right? Is that normal? Like, I didn't know what to gauge it to, because I'm usually in a gas vehicle. And I'm like, yeah, as soon as it gets to half a tank, I'm getting gas. Because I remember the movie The Hills Have Eyes. And I'm not going to be assaulted by zombies in the desert. But how do you do it with a battery? You know, it's like 60%. You're like, what is that? What does that mean? You know, because sometimes it would just jump from 70 to 60 in like 2 minutes. And I'm like, what did we do there? And then it stayed in the 50s for a long time. I'm like, what does that mean? But we made it. We survived. And it's still just as stressful of a drive. Like, it's all the same. Like, it messes with my head, because from San Diego through 90% of the drive, it's just 2 lanes, and you got it on cruise control. You're not even driving. You're daydreaming. And then you're like, yeah, we should do that with the backyard. And then someone comes in, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm driving. I totally forgot I was driving. I was just kind of sitting with a wheel at my fingertips. And that's 90% of the drive. And then you go through like Gila Bend. I used to call it Gila Bend, and then I found out that's not what that letter does in Arizona. That's a Hia. That's not a J. That's not a Gila Bend. But then when you get there, then it breaks down to 2 lanes, and it's so peaceful. And then there's a prison, which is so, like, it's like, wow, to have no freedom and in the desert. It's just, that feels cruel and unusual, doesn't it? You're like, isn't this? No, you can't even look outside. But if you did, everything's dead. Don't worry about it. And then so it's extra peaceful, and then you get to Highway 10, and it turns into Mad Max. That messes with my head, because it's just like 5 hours of and the last hour is, oh my God! Does everyone have a lifted truck? Like, it's just trucks and flags, like, yeah, dude! Don't tread on me, this is my lane, you know? I love the flag on a pickup truck, because that's someone that's like, this lifted pickup truck isn't America enough. I need 3 versions of the American flag, and then a don't tread on me flag. But then I see them, and they still use their turn signal, and I'm like, I mean, how badass are you, you know? You're still merging? Come on now. Run us over if you're such a badass. But it's nice. I like downtown Phoenix. We were in a Waymo. We took a Waymo over. That's fun. The driverless cars. That's fun to heckle. You know. And I like how they tell you, like, don't worry, we're not recording you. And I'm like, what a way to tell me you're recording me. Because that didn't cross my mind until they're like, don't worry, we're not recording you. And I'm like, no one asked, Waymo. That makes me think you're recording this entire conversation. In case I ever try to run for office, they're like, this is what he said in a Waymo in 2024. That's what he thinks about Eskimos. And you're like, what? I don't remember saying that. It is nice. So much construction. The Waymo couldn't even drop us off. It dropped us off like 3 blocks over. Because there's all construction. It's all, you guys can't keep up with all the Californians coming in. Phoenix is like someone's mom's house when they found out there's 20 extra people coming for dinner. And they're like, dear God, the kitchen's closed. Get the hell out of here. I don't have enough placemats. But there is a look. Like, I can tell, I've been in town for 48 hours, and I can tell who's from here and who moved in. Like, the local Arizonan, at least dudes, like, it's a look. It's a look. It's a little bit bloated. It's like I work out, but I'm drinking a lot of IPAs, all right? Do you know what I mean? It's a look where it's like, I'm in shape, but if I gotta fight, I might have a stroke. Because my blood pressure is high, buddy. Like, the local Arizonan dudes look like they're about to explode. Welcome to Arizona. Like, it's just, and you're like, I've never seen a white guy's face that red before. It's like a special hue of red. Kettlebells and Rogan pills. I'm ready to go. Everyone just looks jacked, but it's fun, man. We're doing a Friendsgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. That's my favorite one. Because it's the most easygoing. Like Christmas, you just feel this obligation to see your family. Like if you don't see your family for Christmas, people wonder, not in front of you, but behind your back. They're like, I think he's having issues at home. But Thanksgiving, you cannot see your family, and no one thinks twice. You're like, oh, no, he has friends somewhere, and he's doing that. I love Thanksgiving. Like, Thanksgiving was never even hard at my house, because now, we live in a political age where there's, like, political arguments. But I live in a small family, and we all vote the same way. So, like, at our dinner table, it's just agreeing vehemently. It's just, like, our arguments are just like, right, that's what I've been saying. And that actually leads to an argument sometimes, because we agree too hard, and you're like, keep it down, Ma. She's like, no, I want to show you this interview. And so it's kind of a good thing. But it was fun, man. We just got drunk in a backyard last night, which is great. I have friends who are homeowners because they live here. All my friends in San Diego rent. They are renters. That's what they do, but they own and they have a backyard, so we just got drunk on wine. There's dancing in front of the fire pit. That's what life at 37 is. You open a wine, you turn on the propane fire tank, and then like someone comes out with an edible, you take an edible, and then just slowly, there's people talking about taxes, and then you're just off to the side. You're like, yeah, dude, taxes, right? And you're just dancing by yourself in a backyard. And that's all I've ever wanted out of life. Like, I went and got my haircut today. I don't know if you can tell. This is an underage haircut for who I am. I don't know what happened on the sides. Don't clap too hard at that. How dare you? Someone was like, I see that weird sideburn going on. You sat down in the chair and you got shy when he started asking questions. I never know the words. Every time I sit down in a bar, I don't know what the hell does a taper mean? I don't know what that means. I'm like, I do this and then just clean up the sides. He's like, I got you, man. And I'm like, I don't like the way you said that. I have a feeling my sideburns are gonna look in a way they have never looked before. And he was a younger guy, like he was in his 20s, he was cool. And he's asking me, he's like, oh yeah, you're in town, you're just visiting? I'm like, yeah, I'm here for a Friendsgiving. And I'm like, he's like, in this neighborhood? I was like, yeah, we're in this neighborhood. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of good nightclubs in this neighborhood. We like to hit the club. And I'm like, yeah. I didn't know how to tell him. I was like, no, we drink in the backyard. Because as soon as he said nightclub, I just remembered me doing this. In front of a propane fire pit, just having a ball. I think that's like the evolution of drinking. Because like you start in high school, where you drink at a home. Like, at a home where the parents aren't there, that's where you drink, and then you eventually become 21, so you go to bars and nightclubs. And then after a while of that, you're like, can we go back home? And then you circle back home, and you're just in a backyard, and you're like, this is where we should have done it the entire time. My bed is so close to here. What are you talking about? My definition of fun is how much fun I'm having and how close my bed is. How close am I to being horizontal? And you're like, this is the best place I've ever been. That's who I've been my whole life. Big fan of it. But God, I love Thanksgiving. Tomorrow I'm going to make everyone watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's my favorite. Yeah. It's the best Thanksgiving movie there is. That movie describes what Thanksgiving is. You're either Del Griffith or Neil Page going to your Thanksgiving dinner. Things are either going really well and you're very successful, and you're a little uptight and you're not that fun. Or you're Del Griffith and you're living out of a trunk, but you're a lot of fun to be around. And those two people shouldn't be friends, but by the end, you're high-fiving and you're like, I see where you're coming from. You have a heart of gold. I love that movie. Yeah, it's nice. I love the holidays. This is the only time of year where I get to, like, it feels like the end, right? Like the whole year happened, and you're like, ha ha ha, and there's the build-up of the election, and you're like, are we gonna kill each other? And then it happened, and it just went, ah. I love that. You feel that tension right now that I just brought that up? You feel that? Everyone's like, I love performing in swing states. I love it. I love it. Because you can feel that. I just brought it up and everyone's like, there's one of them right there.
Starts pulling a knife out of their boot, and I'll stab one right now. It was a fun election. We had celebrities on both sides. It was an exciting tag team matchup of celebrities. Like one side had Taylor Swift and like Robert De Niro or somebody, and the other side had like Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan. And, you know what? The election reminded me of the closing scene in the movie Air Bud. Do you guys remember the movie Air Bud? At the end, there was like a court scene where who's the rightful owner of the dog, and there was the mean clown, and then there was the kid that played basketball with him, and the judge was like, the only way to find this out is both of you have to go on opposite ends of the room and call the dog, and whoever the dog goes to, that is the rightful owner. And that was the election. One side you had Taylor Swift and Robert De Niro going, come on, buddy, here you are. And the other side, Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock's like, hey, remember being 12? Come on over, buddy. This is where the good stuff is. I like it. That was a decent joke. I can still feel the tension in the room. It's still right there, just a simmer.